I was really excited when SHEBA asked me to be part of their 2012 campaign because I loved the concept of passion. And I am a very passionate person in my life and how I live my life, about philanthropy, about acting, about my family, about my relationships. And so I thought it was really clever the way they tied passion into your relationship with animals. And it really shows through the commercial. It's a really fun, sexy, sensual commercial, which I think really represents cats. Cats are really, you know, independent and free and fun, and it seems like every day they get to follow their passion. I don't have a favorite cat. I tend to love rescues. I love mixed cats of all different kinds, and you know, the great alley cat who's just kind of a survivor. So I love people who rescue cats, and I find that they're probably some of the most loving, loyal cats because they do feel like you saved my life whenever you do adopt one. The commercial has a great storyline. It's about a woman who comes home and is tired, but then starts to unwind in her house by dancing and relaxing, and all the while the cat is watching her cat as she turns around, and then she realizes the cat's been watching, and she approaches the cat as if they've been lifelong friends. And of course, you know, she does this every night, so the cat's kind of her confidant, her best friend, and always there in her house to welcome her. But there's always this the way the commercial shot too is it's very mischievous. You don't know who's watching her, you don't know who's in the house, and then you realize it's her cat. And it's pretty clever the way they've weaved that through, because I think cats are really mysterious and spirited and free spirited, and so I think it was really fun to do. Probably the most challenging thing in the commercial is working with the cat, because you never know what to expect with animals, and especially cats, because cats tend to be pretty independent. But the cat we used was named Nick, and so he was really trained with cat food, and they train them in whatever the shot is, to sit, to be held, to be pet, to rub. And so that was really challenging because the cat has a little bit of a learning curve every time we change the shot. But this cat was amazing, really smart, and beautiful. But probably the most challenging thing was the shedding, the shedding of the fur on set. It gets in your eye, it gets everywhere. Oh my gosh, working with Martin was so fun. He creates a really fun set, a really creative set where everybody's juices are flowing, and he's really fast. He's very confident. He knows what he wants, he gets it, and he moves on, which is really great in a commercial director or any director, because it's just instills, you know, confidence within the crew and the actors and everybody else. It just kind of trickles down, so everybody feels like you got to be on your game, you got to be at your best at all times, because he's brilliant. I loved filming the dancing part the most, probably, and I liked filming with a cat. I like cats, so both of those kind of were my favorite scenes to shoot. The dancing was fun because I haven't danced in a long time, even though it's one of my passions. So to be able to kind of let loose in the house, and Martin saying, do whatever you want, you know, have fun, that was pretty freeing. I was really excited to do this campaign because it was about passion, and I have a lot of passions in my life. I have a passion for cooking, and I have a passion for working, and I have a passion for relationships, whether it's with my family or loved ones or animals. So for me, this is pretty central to who I am. Dancing has always been one of my passions. It's been more like a hobby, and I've been dancing since I was 5, when my mom put me in after-school programs because she couldn't, she was working, so she couldn't pick us up in time for school, so we'd just go to dance class, and I ended up falling in love with it. And so when they told me I was going to be dancing in the commercial, I was really excited. But this isn't really dancing. I mean, it's just like kind of a free form of showing, showing my, you know, passion towards living life. You know, if I wasn't an actor, I'd probably be a businesswoman. I have a very strong business mind. I'm very entrepreneurial, and I love a business or a career that has measurable attainments, and acting is probably the least of that. You know, you could follow my exact path and not have the same result. But in corporate America or in business, you can work hard and structure things, and then you can accomplish things. So I kind of like that structure of business. I have a great passion for philanthropy. About 80% of the time in my day is spent on some sort of charity that I'm working on. And so I got the philanthropic spirit from my family and growing up, and it was a passion of theirs that they've kind of passed on to me. And I work a lot with children, children's health, the Latino community, women's community, just advocating for different issues and policies that would help make their lives a lot better. You know, I have such a passion for cooking that I cook everything. I cook Mexican and Italian and American and French, and I did a cookbook that kind of encompassed all of that, and it was kind of a memoir of my life told through food. But it's definitely therapeutic for me. I find it really soothing to go home and cook. Some people find it really stressful, but I find it really relaxing. I probably have the biggest passion for Mexican food. Not just because I'm Mexican, it's just really good. Growing up, I had a lot of role models around me, but they were usually within my family. I didn't have to look that far to find a role model. I come from a really big family of women, and strong women and educated women. So my role models growing up were never celebrities or famous people. They were always my mom, my aunt, my sisters, my cousins. So for me, also when I grew up, we didn't have this kind of celeb culture and this bounty of gossip and things like that. And so for me, I really looked up to the women in my life, in my immediate life. You know, my fashion motto is comfortable. So if I'm not only comfortable in my skin in it, but physically it has to be comfortable, because I do so many events and so many galas, and you know, nothing worse than sitting in a gown that you can't breathe in. So I usually start from comfort, and then you know, I love color, so I don't like to wear black. I love red and orange and purple and blue. So I'm usually those are my two barometers of what I'm going to wear. No, I don't have any specific designers I go to. I like to use everybody. I love Latino designers because you can feel the culture threaded through their creations, whether it's Oscar de la Renta or Carolina Herrera or Angel Sanchez, Esteban Cortazar. There's so many great ones. Naim Khan, who has really great Indian influence. So yeah, I like the ethnic designers. I'm completing my master's degree here in Chicano Studies, which is Mexican American Studies, which is just something I've always wanted to do, and I've been doing it while I'm shooting Desperate Housewives. I go to night school, and it's been challenging, but so satisfying. I love learning, and I love history, and so it only authenticates my activism and my philanthropy and my politics that I want to be my life's work. After Desperate Housewives, I'm going to take a break. I'm exhausted. I have a couple movies coming out, so I'll be doing press for some movies. But I'm going to be traveling a lot, and I'm also doing a lot of work for the re-election campaign for Obama. So I'll be traveling all over the United States, campaigning for him, and targeting the Latino community and the women's community to be able to re-elect him. No, I said this a million times that Gabby and I are exact opposites. I'm going to miss her. Playing her has been a lot of fun. I'm going to have Gabby withdrawals. But it's always fun to play something you're not, because then you get to really play out those colors while you're acting, because you can't really explore those feelings in life. So Gabby always says and does things people wish they could say and do. And so I always find playing her really liberating. I am a healthy eater. I eat pretty healthy, and I do work out with a personal trainer. I recently cut out sugar from my diet, and that was harder than you think. I mean, no rice and pasta and bread and nothing that turns into sugar. And I did it for about 30 days, and got great results. So I've kind of just continued along that path. But yeah, I'm really into good diet. I'm very proud of my Mexican culture. I think it's just so rich and vibrant, whether it's the food or the language or the music or the religion. There's just so much of my Mexican culture that I'm always proud to display. I try to speak Spanish as much as I can because it's just such a beautiful language, and it's easy in Los Angeles because everybody speaks Spanish. But the biggest thing that I'm probably most proud of regarding my Mexican culture is family. We're very centered on family and family events and family dinners and family weddings. And so that's probably what I love most about it. I was really excited to be part of the Dine campaign for 2012. They told me about the concept, and I thought it was brilliant to incorporate passion of life and passion for life through whatever your interests are, whether mine are cooking or dancing or acting. I also find passion for relationships really important, and some of those relationships happen to be with animals. So I thought it was very clever of Dine to come up with this campaign and relate it to people who have that relationship and that passionate relationship with their cat.